Hi, this is Anne. I'm the digitizer at a creative medley, and I'm blogging at makealltheprojects.com. Today I'm going to show you how to add a name or writing to an in the hoop design, particularly the in the hoop peekaboo bunny from a creative medley. He's one of my most popular designs, and people have wondered how you can personalize it because there isn't a lot of room on the belly, but you can make room on the ears or on the arms. So we'll go ahead and open up the file. I know that it's in my recent files, so I will just open up. You can open whatever format works for you. I happen to have the PES here. So I want to add a name to his ear first. I'll go up to the A tab, which will open up the alphabets. And you can see over here it automatically put A, B, C, which you'll find here. I have a new nephew, Charlie, so I'm going to enter his name. And click Set, and it replaced the ABC with Charlie's name. This is a nice font, but I would rather use Mini Kitty, my font that is available in a BX. And I'll just drag that up to this ear. And I can rotate it. I can make it a little bit bigger. That's the beauty of the BX fonts. I can type it in and then edit it as I choose. I can even do special effects. I can make it in a circle. I can change the slant, but I'll just leave it the way it is. One important thing to note when you're using an in the hoop design, Embrilliance has a great feature to remove overlapping stitches. So if I was putting this onto a fill stitch, it would be really, really thick. And Embrilliance has a great feature to remove overlaps. If I'm doing a design like this, I do not want it to remove the overlaps. So I want to go into my preferences, check the files when saving, and make sure that the remove overlaps when saving stitch files box is unchecked. If I didn't do that, then my placement stitches, these stitches here, would end up being deleted because they're covered up by other stitches. I can also click here on the little scissors to check the remove hidden stitches. That will show me what's been removed. And in this case, it stayed the same, so I know that nothing has been removed. Now back to my lettering. I added Charlie's name. Now I think I'll add my first Easter. And it would probably look better on two lines. So I'll just tab back there and set. I think I'll put that on the left hand and I just rotate it. And that's a little big. So again, being a BX font, I can just size it down a little and move it into place. And I think I'll add the year, 2017. And click Set. And you can see nothing happened this time. It stayed ABC even though I have 2017 written here. That's because you can click on the I and it will tell you the information about this font. This font actually does not have any numbers available. So in this case, I have to choose a different font. So I can just open it up and let's try this Jazz. This font has numbers. I can again look and see, and it has uppercase letters and numbers and a few punctuation marks. So now I'll just move this over here and put it into place. Right now I have these two colors as separate. I could leave them separate, I could make them the same. It really doesn't matter. Now I need to make sure that my letters stitch at the right time. The way I have it right now, they stitch at the very end, which means they would actually stitch the layers of the ears together and stitch the layers of the arms together, and that's not what I want. So if I look at my layers, and you'll be able to see this in the PDF instructions file that comes with the Peekaboo Bunny. My first stitch is a placement, and that will show me where I should put my ears. So I'll stitch that out and then I'll lay the fabric for the front of the ears on top of that placement stitch. Then I'll stitch number 2, which will be the placement for the ear accents. Then I'll stitch number 3, which will tack down the ear accents fabric, and then I'll trim around it to remove the extra. Then I'll stitch number 4, which is the satin finish. The Peekaboo Bunny has the option of a satin finish or a vintage finish that stitches a lot faster. Now here's where I want Charlie's name to stitch after number 4. So I'll just click on his name and I'll drag it up here, and when I have that little line between the 4 and 5, let go, and it just put Charlie's name right where I wanted it. So now it'll stitch the satin finish of the accent and then Charlie's name, and then it'll pause so that I can put the back fabric down. This will be the back of the ears, and I'll lay it face down and stitch this stitch, the ears finishing stitch. Then it will stitch the placement for the arms, and here's where I want the words for the arms to land. So I will just click on both of those and drag it up, and now this will stitch between the placement and the finishing stitch. So this last stitch will be what puts the front of the arms and the back of the arms together. And if I have Essentials, this is where I'll stop and save. If I have Enthusiast, which I do, I can add a little extra, and I can add knockdown stitches. I like to stitch these on Minky, which has a nice fluffy texture, and especially with my letters being this small, it would be really easy for them to get lost. So if I just select my words and I go to Utility, Add Knockdown Stitching, this is what happens. It thinks that I want the knockdown stitches under everything, which of course in this case I don't, but there's an easy fix. So I will click Undo. Now I'm going to again select my letters, and I'm going to edit, copy, and now I'm going to make a new document and edit, paste. Now the only thing in my hoop is the 2017 and the My First Easter. Now if I do Utility, Add Knockdown Stitching, I just have the underlay, the knockdown stitching underneath the words, and that's exactly what I want. So now I can just go ahead and click on those underlay stitches and edit, copy, and go back to my bunny, and you can see the letters are in the exact same place in the hoop. So when I do the edit, paste, it'll paste them right in the correct spot. Now it put them at the end of the design, which is not where I wanted, of course. So I can do the same thing that I did earlier and just click on both of those. I'm holding down the Shift key so that I can select both at the same time. Click and hold and drag that up above the letters. I actually went a little bit too far, so I'm going to move this placement stitch back above there. Okay, now I will look at the stitch simulator just to make sure that everything is stitching out in the order that I want it to. So there's my placement, and the tack down, and the satin finish, and there's Charlie's name, and everything is stitching exactly how I wanted. So now I'm ready to save. I'll just click on that stitch simulator to exit out. Now I will File, Save as Stitch and Working. This means that my working file will also be saved. So I'm just going to go ahead and call that Charlie Bunny First Hoop. I want to make sure that I save it as a different name. I don't want to overwrite my original file. And I'm saving as an EXP because that's what my machine uses. You can change that to whatever format is appropriate for your machine. And save. And that saved both the EXP for my machine as well as I will now have a Charlie Bunny First Hoop .be, which is my working file. So if I go ahead and stitch it out and I discover that I would rather have both of these letters be the same color, I can do that. Or oops, I had the name stitch out in the wrong spot and I want to move it earlier. Then I can reopen my BE file, my working file, and change whatever I need to without having to start over. Thanks for watching. You can pick up the Peekaboo Bunny file at www.acreativemedley.com and check out makealltheprojects.com for this tutorial and more.